Hi, welcome back. This is the final session in the reef painting project that I'm doing, and this week I'm painting the coral and finishing the painting. So I'm starting with the excuse me, starting with the green coral in the background. I'll just paint that in, I'm blocking that in. Blocking that green coral in. Normally I would start at the background and move forward. But I'm breaking the rules, and there's nothing wrong with that. You can paint the background first, or you can paint the background over the foreground fish. So the colour I'm using is green, which is good because the red fish will contrast with the green. So just blocking in that green colour, and basically painting around this fish with the green, so it represents that brain coral. So I'm using very basic colour palette: green, white, black, red, yellow, and of course blue for the background. Keeping the colour palettes simple is a good way to have a successful work. It's not complicated, and you don't need many colours to create a successful painting. You can do a painting with 5 colours. So I'm just trying to imagine where the outline of that coral is going. And I'm just basically imagining that line going through this clownfish downwards on that path. So it's not difficult, you just have to imagine where that line will go. And just blocking in this colour. Here I'm just using a hair dryer to speed up the painting process and drying it out. This is a good thing to use, it speeds it up so you can get onto the details. Hair dryers are very good to use for acrylics and watercolours. Just speeds that drying process up. Just test it, see if it's dry. So sometimes it's good to think about the next stage of the painting, and you can do that. Take your time and plan the next stage, and using the rag to clean up any excess paint on the brush. So I just want to imagine basically, you know, what's happening in this ecosystem with the different corals. And such an amazing place in the world, the reef. So now just coming up with some, I'm just going to paint in this wavy coral coming underneath, and just try and give a bit of movement. Because as you know, underneath the water is never still, with the waves washing around all sorts of, you know, fish and coral all the time. So this green is basically the same green I used in the brain coral, but it's more yellow. It just lightens it up. It lightens that color up, and just try and make it wavy to represent, you know, the coral being washed around in the currents underneath the water. So it's basically mostly yellow with a bit of green. Just providing a bit of contrast in colour. Here. Just using that rag all the time to get off the excess paint. Now I'm going to paint in some details on the brain coral with this black. There's no, you know, one way to paint brain coral. Just designs that you think they kind of relate to each other by going inwards and outwards, keeping it simple. Yeah, keeping it simple. That's a little bit. I wanted to soften the paint up a bit, so just using a rag to do that. Soften that paint up a bit. Just using that rag. Yeah, obviously when the paint's still wet, you can do this. Softening that paint up. Now I'm going to paint the shadow on the brain coral by adding a bit of black to the green. important to add a bit of shadow to create that three-dimensional shape, and just imagining that the sun's hitting the top of the coral, create that three-dimensional shape. So painting that darker color down the bottom just adds a bit of interest and makes the coral a bit more rounded, I guess you say. So always thinking of painting in terms of tone, darker tones and lighter tones. Adding white to a color makes it a lighter tone. Adding dark to a color makes it a darker tone. So it's very important when we're talking about tones. So just blocking in this color with the darker tone, just painting around those shapes until you're happy with it. Now I'm going to block in the main coral. I've already painted this in white. It just makes it easier to paint on the red and makes it a bit more vibrant, a bit more intense. So I've already painted the coral in white. I guess when you paint it like that, you kind of draw in that shape with paint. But it just makes that color a bit more intense. Just painting in that red till it's finished. Blocking it in. You can see, you know, you don't have to overthink it. Just painting those colors. So you're happy that the red covers the white. Again, he's just blocking those colours in. Just painting in that red, painting over the white, so it's, you know, you don't want to leave too much white there. It looks unnatural, so get as much as you can. You can leave a bit of white. One. We're just blocking in that red. Till you're finished. And soon I'm going to add some yellow, and the yellow will create a contrast, add some interest as well. Again, yellow is a warm color, so it will pick up the yellow in the large red fish. It just adds a bit of contrast to this. Using Joe Songe's acrylics, pretty good artist paints. So just adding yellow here and there, just for highlights. Yeah, again, it just adds some interest and contrast to the coral. So, if I was to paint all in red, which is fine, it'd be a bit flat. So adding yellow adds a bit of contrast. Gives this coral a bit of life, and also brings it forward, because remember, in the painted the background in blue, and blue and red are more or less opposites. In one's warm, one's cool. Just keep adding that color here and there. Yeah, now I'm just adding a darker tone there. So it's basically black added to the red. Remember I talked about tone, adding darker color. Black to a color gives you a dark tone. Adding white to a color gives you a lighter tone. So light and dark tones is very important. Just adding these shadow areas with that darker tone. So again, there's no real, one way to do it. Just try and imagine where the shadows will be with the sun's hitting it. Just adding these shadows. Not too much, but just in small areas here and there, and they're very similar to the darker tones in the big red fish and the clownfish. So just continuing with that process, adding the black added to the red tone, just gives it a shadow. Always trying to imagine where the sun's coming from. Cleaning the brush here. Like using rags to keep things clean. Now I'm just going to add the background fish. Again, there's no real secret to painting these fish. Just create your own patterns, your own way of doing it. I've got my way of doing it. That's just short lines. Again, just I'm not sure where I'm putting these fish. I'm just putting them where I feel they belong, and so I get a balanced composition. So I'm just, I'm using straight black. You don't have to use black, you can use the darker color. Just whatever you feel will go with the composition. Yeah. Just short, like dabs of color, and makes it look like the fish is swimming. Using a round brush, it's easier for this type of thing. Again, I'm just feeling my way around it, and it's important to paint the background fish. They're just as important as the fish in the foreground. They all tell their part of the story. These fish are going about their business during the day, and quite peaceful. It's a harmonious situation there. So every fish is like a character in the play. So when you're happy with the composition, you just, it's time to finish. And it's important to finish so it's not too complex. Hope you've enjoyed this video, and we'll see you in the next one. Thank you. Bye.